the name Diddy, how did that come about? What's the backstory behind that?
See, what happened is that every tragedy we know that happened, Puff changed his name. City College, he went from Puff Daddy to Puff. When Biggie died, he went from Puff to Diddy. When Wolf died, he went from Brother Love, from Diddy to Brother Love. And when Kim Porter died, I think he may have went to Love. Every great tragedy, he changed his name because he's running. Those names had certain significance in his life. You got to realize Diddy name that Big gave him has now made him the laughing stock of the hip hop world. You can't go on YouTube, you can't go on TikTok, you can't go on Facebook without seeing somebody taking that name and using it in some kind of, even cartoons, in some kind of hilarious, laughing type matter. That's very embarrassing to him. Big gave him that name. And Big was laughing when he gave him that name. And somehow Big knew that giving him that name was going to make him the laughing stock of hip hop. Because we know it came from Donkey Kong. I've said this 1,000 times. Donkey Kong Jr. on that video game was Diddy Kong. So Big was calling him a little monkey back then. He just didn't know it. Now watch, somebody gonna look that up and they're gonna see that there was actually a Diddy Kong. He changed his name, but Big knew something. Big had to know something. Because he was laughing when he gave him that name because Puff was threatening him about his publishing. That was the last night we was in the studio in California. Puff was threatening him about his publishing. And Big was like, no, Diddy. No, Diddy. Mm-mm. Puff had owned Big Publishing. And Big wanted his publishing because he wanted to move on. He was trying to get away from Puff. He wanted to do his own thing with Rivera. So what happened is that when Diddy used to write for Little Kim or Little C's or something like that, or anybody, he used to put it in somebody else's name. Because the same people who told him to sell his publishing to Puff told them that he didn't have to put his publishing in his name. He could put it in somebody else. So I think he may have put it in his daughter's name, like Puff was doing Justin and the whole 9 yards. So Big put his publishing in his daughter's name and everything like that. And then he let Lil' Kim, keep hers, the stuff that he wrote, keep it in her name. Because he said Lil' Kim was his girl, and this is what he told me. He said Lil' Kim was his girl, but he used another word. He said it's B-I-T-C-H, and she was going to always look out. So he didn't mind, writing stuff, putting it in her name, and letting her get the publishing for it. So that's how it went down. So when when Big told me, when D-Rock told Big some bullshit about me, I reminded Big in front of Puff, yo, well, Big, why you don't tell Puff you wrote Lil' Kim? And I know niggas gonna talk all kind of shit because they gonna get it wrong anyway. I said, why don't you tell Puff you wrote Lil' Kim and Lil' C shit? And Puff was like, yo, what? He said that? Because Big had told him I had did some shit. And um, he shouldn't have told Puff that, trying to F with me, because Big was that type of dude. He'll try to F with you, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't going for it. I was like, yo, so tell him that, Big, you run your mouth about that. And we was talking about his publishing and his marketing. And Puff got in his face, was like, yo, say it. I dare you to say it. I dare you to say it. Because he wanted Big to say that he be writing for because he got witnesses now. He got me, he got Charlie Baltimore, he got the engineer, he got other people in the studio. So if Big say that, then he could sue Big for all the money that he didn't get for all the stuff that was going down and all the stuff that was happening. Because they was robbing each other. They basically was robbing each other. So that's what had happened. So then Big was just, when he was at Puff was asking, did you write Lil Kim them stuff? He was like, yo, no, Diddy. No, Diddy. And that's how the name was formed. And now everybody know that name all over the world. I don't even think Puff knew when Big was saying it that he knew it came from Diddy Kong.